Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Bricker Boom. I figure we have a year of challenges under our belt now, whether it be through Nuzlocks or through solo runs, team runs, etc., just challenge runs in general. So I kind of wanted to just revisit the first one, react to that a little bit, and see maybe if I would have done things any differently now that I had more experience on my side. So let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Bricker Boom. Now, I know this may come as a shock, but I spend a lot of time on YouTube.
That is still very much true. And it's funny, I have had the hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Bricker Boom intro since I first started. I don't know why, but when I started on YouTube, both an intro and an outro, having that set and locked was very important to me. And I think it was because of people like Madry Bread, who basically had the same outro every single time. I wanted to make sure that if people heard a specific intro or outro, they knew it was me.
Due to this, I've seen different YouTubers doing single Pokemon runs, Madry Bread and
Oh,
JRose11, just to name a few. Due to my own community loving Pokemon and me always trying to find something fun and challenging, I decided to tackle this. My goal is to work my way of
now, if anything, because it's depending on how long the camera was left on, now I would probably just either restart or try to figure out a way to edit it out. At the time, because I was doing some of these online, that's why I kind of made this little bit of an overlay going on. This way, it just kind of fit in with the retro theme. I tried to size the screen properly, etc. Whether or not I succeeded, not 100% sure because it's been a while.
eventually through the Pokédex, but mostly through first form and single form Pokemon. If we're able to beat it with the first form, obviously we're going to be able to beat it with the third form. So, unless specifically requested or doing a race, which more to come on that, that's likely what the format is going to be.
So
What we'll
that
do
is no longer true because I started thinking about it, and I'm working on getting a proper camera, or not camera, but timer set up. I would actually like to go through these games with the next form or the evolution because I want to see how much better it performs than the first one. The racing thing has kind of fallen to the wayside, unfortunately, because as I continue my career. Some have just stopped. It's also hard to find people that either I won't obliterate entirely or won't obliterate me entirely. It's a very weird kind of level curve that I'm still trying to perfect.
is we'll do the three starters, of course, and in between doing these three starters, just so we're not hitting the same stage or same game, I should say, over and over again, we'll jump to different challenges.
I still genuinely try to do that. It has been a lot harder recently, so I've been kind of focusing on Fire Red. However, while I have been focusing on Fire Red, I'm not just focusing on Kanto Pokemon.
So, to kick off this particular
I would have
thing,
edited that
we
out.
start with Bulbasaur, number one in the Pokedex, who, in my opinion, we brilliantly nickname Bulbs. We name
Forgot
our
my own
rival
nickname.
Butt because I'm a 31-year-old man who thinks he's hilarious. Thankfully, this isn't a solo Nuzlocke by any means, so let's cover the rules now that we're able to officially get started.
I don't think I even bother covering the rules anymore. If I do, it's very, very brief. I also don't bother with the nicknames as much anymore, just because I feel like it kind of wastes time and it's a joke that falls flat the more you end up using it. Verbal jokes are a lot easier, I think, to keep going than what text-based jokes are.
I can only use Bulbasaur in battle, which means no evolutions. I can, however, catch other Pokemon as needed for HMs, or if I somehow find a shiny, I may catch that as well.
Nope.
Now, in the interest of full transparency, we do use the infinite rare candies.
Still use that.
Because my community voted on it, because they didn't want to see me smack my head into the same brick wall for hours upon hours. Well,
Still
they
very
did,
thankful
but
for that.
not by grinding. Now, I will, to make it so I'm not immediately leveling up after a bad attempt, I do attempt a battle at least 5 times,
I
and
still
if I
do that.
still can't win, then I will go ahead and level up. If I get to level 100 and have exhausted any and all options and strategies, then and only then will I break down and use items.
I don't think it's ever come to that. I will sooner give up on a challenge before I actually use items.
The challenge itself would technically be a forfeit by standard rules, but it can still be completed with a
So I'm glad that I got rid of this particular overlay. While it was fun on stream, and I am thankful that my wife was able to make it, the fact that it blocked out the stats, we've come a long way.
single Pokemon with items in mind. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into the run. With our starter in hand, there isn't much to cover except for some back and forth with the rival, and we eventually sneak out a victory.
I would have made the editing a lot smoother on this. I could definitely do that now. I can also tell that this was one of the first times writing a script for this because I go way too in depth with the explanations, and it also seems just a little bit clunky. This, for example, is just freeform, and I'm able to go off cuff pretty easily.
We make our way to Viridian Forest, ignoring the optional rival fight for now. We do fight some of the trainers, learning Vine Whip along the way. We double back for some additional EXP and head to the optional rival fight. We Leech Seed Pidgey and Vine Whip and do take some damage from Tackle. We trade tackles for a while before Pidgey goes down. When Charmander comes out, thankfully it only knows Scratch, and Leech Seed is able to keep us somewhat healthy once more. We begin to chip it down, and finally, we take another victory.
So, I am very thankful that my editing has got better. I now know better how to, one, make the fights a little bit more cohesive. I'll say this, I'm no expert by any means, but the fights I can make a lot more cohesive. And then also on top of that, I show walking footage in between. This way it's not just an awkward, well, it still sometimes is, but it's not just a smash cut to the next fight. You actually get to see more video game footage. So I'm thankful for the improvements that I've made, partly due to the comments.
Those out of the way, we head immediately to Pewter City, and honestly, I feel kind of bad for the Light Years trainer and Brock, because in this early in the game, and with a type advantage, and you don't even need a level lead this early. It's bad. A couple attacks are all it takes to get the victory. We go to the route immediately next to us.
Cut that out.
We fight some of the trainers, leaving a couple optional ones behind, but not more than one or two, and make our way through the cave without many issues. Grabbing our fossil, if you want to know which one, make sure to leave a comment.
Stole that from MBB.
And heading into Cerulean, we take on the optional train.
Why didn't I cut the voice flubs? How I do that so easily now.
Trainers in Misty's gym. Razor Leaf takes down Staryu, and 2 are enough to take out Starmie, but due to it being rather tanky and able to attack, it does get us down to almost red health.
No, it got us into red health. We just missed that.
Nugget Bridge, where we fight the second rival fight.
Okay, I was on stream during this time because I'm clearly
to sleep,
talking.
Whittle it down, and thankfully haven't taken much damage. We put Charmander to sleep, and we begin to wear it down, and thanks to a lucky critical hit, Leech Seed is able to polish it off. Abra is always going to be a free battle, and then when Rattata comes out, we're able to one-shot it with Razor Leaf. Heading through the rest of the area.
That one's not so bad, it's just that the battle doesn't sync up properly. In the past year or so, I've gotten pretty used to the fact that the screen cuts to black when you go through a transition. I use that to transition now into the new parts of the game. I probably started doing that about 4 months ago. Somebody commented saying that they liked the video, it's just that they didn't like that the battles didn't sync up, so I started working a little bit harder on making sure how to do that.
We get our ticket, or ship. Oh my goodness. I've been working on this script and this audio pretty much for the past 3 days, so my
That was
brain is a
true.
little bit fried. Let's try that again. Heading through the rest of this area, we get our ticket to the ship and clear out the trainers on board. Not all of them, because I don't want to be too powerful leveled, but we'll see what happens. Pidgeotto,
See,
we
that
put to
cut
sleep
was
and we
fine.
leech seed. We get sand attacked, unfortunately, and continue to hammer away, shout out Papa C, at the bird.
I still
and when
like shouting
Kadabra comes out, we immediately leech seed
I don't do
for
it
health.
much.
Razor Leaf is able to finish it off. Charmeleon comes out, but unfortunately, a few quick embers is all it takes to take us out.
I should have.
From there, we battle the remaining people we can on the
Why am I
SSN
eating?
and
Oh, God.
try again. This time, we put Pidgeotto to sleep and... Oh. This battle basically ends the same. Sand Attack, unfortunately, almost always ends up in a loss. Next battle, we does finally go better as we put Pidgeotto to
What am
sleep
I
and take it out with
doing?
Razor Leaf, but not before getting hit with a weak gust. I'll take that over Sand Attack. Kadabra goes down to a single Razor Leaf, and we Leech Seed Charmeleon as it smoke screens us. We do manage to put it to sleep and finally take it out before it wakes up, and then Raticate also thankfully goes down to a single Razor Leaf.
So there were a lot of mistakes in there that definitely would not be making it on screen today. I'm not saying that every video that you publish has to be 100% perfect, because that would honestly drive you insane. But the amount of issues that I am seeing here are kind of bad.
Naturally, the trash can puzzle does decide to take its sweet time getting solved,
I still
and
struggle
from there,
with that,
it's time to face
That's
Surge.
a whole other issue.
Sonic Boom immediately takes us down to 61 HP, but we Leech Seed for some recovery. A single Razor Leaf does take it out, and as Pikachu comes out, we miss our next attack. Pikachu paralyzes us and hits us with a weak Shockwave. Razor Leaf connects and takes it out one shot, and last is Raichu. We
So
Leech Seed
I don't
it,
think
and
I
it
edited this.
gets
I
back
think
with
I
a
just
not so hard Shockwave.
I think I just let
even
the
on a
footage
Raichu.
play.
Thankfully, Raichu continues to use the Shockwave move before double teaming, which, I'll be honest, double team is not great, especially while we're paralyzed. Surge Super Potions, but Razor Leaf brings it down to mid health, and we're back to decent health, honestly, due to Leech Seed. Another Razor Leaf hits, and we're finally able to win, even if it is a bit of a sloppy victory. After that,
So I will say that strategy-wise, so far, most of it would probably be the same playing now. I would obviously pay a bit more attention to the type of nature that I got, just to see if I'm a better special attacker or physical attacker at the end of the day. But putting it to sleep, leech seeding it, and then pinging away at it best I can with something like Razor Leaf, honestly, not a bad strat.
we head through the Dark Cave, which does take a bit of time. I chose not to get the Flash TM because I would need to catch a lot more Pokemon to unlock it. And it would just kind of waste time doing all of that.
There's no reason to explain that. I can literally just look up a picture of the cave. It gives you the perfect layout, the steps that you need to take. There, I could have cut this out.
So, what I did was, totally not using Google and remembering myself, we navigate blindly through the cave. After that, we head immediately to Celadon. No. Yes, Celadon. I always get Celadon and Cerulean mixed up. Anyway,
Okay, fair.
this time, it's time to pay Giovanni back for what he did to Hatsy in our Nuzlocke run. Onyx and Rhyhorn go down to a single Razor Leaf, and Kangaskhan nearly punches us into submission, but due to the skirmish and leveling up, we get to level 42. Little to no time later, we're on the way to face the rival in Lavender Town. Pidgeotto's strategy remains the same by putting it to sleep and whittling it down before it can sand attack us. Execute, we hit with tackles until it goes down, but it does put us to sleep and hit us with some confusions before finally going down.
Why do I still have
Kadabra goes down to a single Razor Leaf, and then as Charmeleon comes out, we do unfortunately get taken down. Attempt number 2. Pidgeotto and Execute remain unchanged in how the battle goes, and same with Kadabra, but it's not looking good. And Charmeleon takes us out again. Alright.
I
First part of the battle goes almost exactly the same, except we do have more health due to some sleep luck this time around. This time as well, Charmeleon stays asleep as we beat it down with leaves, finally letting us get past this. Gyarados thankfully goes down to an easy Razor Leaf and Tackle. As we
cut that
finish up
out.
the remainder of Lavender Tower, Spirit
So again, not a, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like there, and you can definitely tell that this is like the first video that I edited, scripted, wrote everything for, like did all the work from cradle to grave, because it's not that good. Um, I am very surprised that one, I gained any type of viewers from this, but there was a lot to improve on with this. I think I want to say with thumbnails, I didn't start getting comfortable with even making thumbnails really and being even remotely creative until probably about the baby run. And then I want to say script writing probably took me about 4 or 5 of them before I started feeling confident with just writing it. And then the editing part, I'm still always working on, trying to learn more things and make it easier, but also still keep a decent quality about it. Lavender
America.
Tower, but
Victory
okay.
Bell is first, and thanks to our new move, Return, we take out a third of its health as it paralyzes us and crits us when it's next hit. Erica heals
So
up,
many
but
little
we
flubs I
remain
could've
paralyzed.
taken
Acid does another small chunk of damage, and Return gets a nice crit to bring it to red. We do take it out, but we're down to a little under half health. We do level up, and then Tangela sets up Ingrain, but unfortunately we stay paralyzed. Giga Drain does very little, again, thankfully, but our Return is able to take it out in one shot. Not completely sure if that crit mattered. Vileplume hits us with
Out of the
Acid,
levels,
which
so
takes down
can't
our
tell you.
defense, and we bring it to near half. Another Acid drops our defense again, and another Return leaves it with a Sliver. The next Acid leaves us with only 4 HP, but we got another sloppy victory and another badge.
Probably
We complete
would
the
have
cycling
edited
road
that a
and
little bit.
immediately head to the Safari Zone where we complete that. We grab Surf, Strength, and then head through the trainers of the gym to get to Koga.
Okay, see,
Koga
the montage part is
a bit of a problem. Muck likes to minimize,
if you
making
hear my
it
dog, I apologize.
impossible to hit. When we're able to get past the Muck, the Coughing likes to explode, and even from a Coughing, a self-destruct is enough to take us out without much of a problem.
That's
It
probably
takes
still true.
multiple lost attempts, but we finally bite the bullet, and we level up to level 52 before we try. And we lose again?
Oop.
Our next
So with this, I would probably, rather than leveling up immediately, I doubt I'd be able to be. I don't know what level I'm starting at here. I know that I just said in the script 52, but since I can't see the levels and it's been a while, I would probably end up going to Silphco and leveling up off the trainers there and seeing if I can get past the 5th rival fight. I doubt that I can win that, but I'd at least try. I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to beat Blaine at this level.
Coughing, or our next attempt has Coughing
cut
coming
that out.
out, and Sleep Powder puts it to sleep. Razor Leaf takes half health out, and thankfully it remains asleep. A second Razor Leaf does manage to take it down. Muck comes out, and we make sure to put it to sleep and Leech Seed it as quickly as we can before it starts the minimizing nonsense. Return does what appears to be about a quarter of its health, and Leech Seed takes it a little below half. Another Return takes it out, but I don't think at this point the crit mattered. The next Coughing goes to sleep and has a full heal.
I remember I was still at the time I was very surprised by them having full heals because I didn't think they had that since RBY.
All right. Well, we hit it with Return, and that does a little under half, putting it back to sleep, and no full heal this time. We hit it with Razor Leaf, and bringing it to red as Coughing wakes up and hits us with Sludge. Since we knew that Koga would Hyper Potion, we do land a Leech Seed to begin draining its health slowly. It hits us with smokescreen to worsen our accuracy, and from here it's just a slug.
Why did I dance?
Return and Leech Seed Drains finally take it out, but this took a good 5 minutes just for the one Pokemon.
This is actually my old room, too.
Weezing comes out, and the same strategy works of putting it to sleep and Leech Seeding it. Thankfully, Sleep Luck is on our side, and we're able to take out the Behemoth without taking any kind of damage.
Audio quality was better in the old room, but I can actually be loud in this room, and it's more spacious. That's actually why I moved in here. I just need better walls and insulation and stuff.
Going into Silphco, we do take some time to level up on the grunts there before taking on the rival. It does get us up to level 56. Pidgeot goes down for a nap, and we begin to hit it with Return. When it gets brought down to red, we switch over to Razor Leaf to finish the remaining health. When Execute comes in, we start with a Razor Leaf, and it immediately paralyzes us. After that, it outspeeds us and goes on the offensive with Confusion, but we do manage to take it down, but we're also down to 64 HP. Alakazam comes in and outspeeds us and sets up a Future Sight, and we hit back hard with Return. It tries Future Sight again, but we're paralyzed. When it sets up Future Sight a third time, we take it down.
The AI is really weird, and for some reason, I don't know why, Alakazam will go for Future Sight time and time again. Overall, as I'm going through this particular portion, it's probably because I split it up over a series of days. I don't hate the script writing at every single turn. It's just certain parts of it are clunky, and what doesn't help is that I wasn't comfortable clearly in editing on my own and taking that part out. This is something that I probably should have worked on and tried to polish a little bit more before putting the video out, but I think I was just super excited to start doing these types of videos. I will never end up taking this down because I want to see where I always started and where I came from, but it is a little bit painful to actually come back and see how bad some of this was, especially with like this overlay. I just figured that out recently. The way that I've structured the script and the editing, it's just lots of little tweaks to get better and better. If you ever want to see like what I do now when I edit, I do it on stream, or if you want me to release a video about it, just let me know that, and I can always drop that in the comments below as well, just to give, especially if it helps, you know?
Sight does land, obviously, giving us 36 health, and a flamethrower is enough to take us out. The next few battles go the same, and more often than not, Execute continues to paralyze us, or wakes up just a turn too early, so I think we need a few more levels. At level 60, we start the same pattern, putting the bird to...
So once again, I doubt it would have any type of difference whatsoever, but I would probably go to Cinnabar.
Sleep and two-shot it with Return. This time, when the eggs come out, we put it to sleep, and Return gets a beautiful crit to take it out. Alakazam comes out, and now we officially can outspeed it and put it to sleep, and Return is enough to immediately take it out. Flamethrower hits hard and takes us all the way down to 45 HP, so we put the giant fire lizard to sleep, hit it with Leech Seed, and begin smacking it with Return.
I think one thing I'm noticing is that, especially at the time when I was doing this, it was very much new and exciting. I feel like I may have become a little bit complacent, so what I'm going to probably start doing is try to get a little bit more energy back into it. When I'm just talking like this, it's a lot easier to show that inflection, but I think when I'm reading through the script, I'm trying very hard not to have as many verbal mess-ups as I typically do, so I think that's why my voice is a little bit more monotone or a little bit more flat when I'm reading through this, because I've noticed even in the script, when I'm not covering the battle, when I'm doing those little in-between portions, my voice picks up a little bit, and then it just mellows.
Thankfully, it stays asleep, and we actually get back up to 73 HP as we take it down, and Gyarados comes out.
I edited that.
We kind of mess up here, though. We spend way too many turns trying to set up Sleep Powder, And looking back at the footage, I now know that 2 attacks could have taken it out. A few tries later, we make it back to Gyarados, and this time we learn from our mistake and Razor Leaf it to finally take it down.
Okay, this is a jump.
On to Giovanni.
So this is one thing that I worked on quite a bit. You'll notice it's actually covered up right now. Let me get rid of at least part of the border here. So you can see my taskbar and whatnot below. I started out, and I did this for a long time, of stretching the screen resolution to fill up the entire thing. And somebody thought that in one of my videos, a Pokemon just had straight ones in all its stats because it was blocked out. I'm like, well, that doesn't work. And I very recently added the border, and it's made a world of difference. The video actually looks a lot more watchable now. So even a year, 2 years later, etc., I'm still learning these new little tiny things to just make the quality that much better. But we've got about half the video done.
Nidorino gets hit with Return and smacks us with Horn Attack, thankfully not doing much. We finish it off, and next up to the chopping block is Nidoqueen. Razor Leaf does a quarter, but it's only hitting us with a fairly weak Poison Sting. This time it sets up Tail Whip for its next attack as we keep smacking it with Return. Up next is Kangaskhan, and we start hitting it with Return as it hits back with Mega Punch.
I sound so energized.
About this time, I notice I'm being obnoxious with food, and have had some issues with a wild Tishy popping up on screen. And even though I turned it off, my camera coming back on, so you're gonna see a cut in the video, and we're also just gonna restart this fight.
If you could make the cut in the video, why didn't you?
At this point,
Whatever.
but it just look at the chaos for a brief moment. So we turn everything off, we do the fight again to make it a bit more cohesive. The next fight is about as simple as the beginning of this one.
I
We
didn't
take
show
out
any of it,
Kangaskhan
so
with plenty of
you
health
don't know what I'm
remaining.
talking about.
Rhyhorn goes down easy, and just like that,
happening?
we've won. After that, it's basically a gym rush now until the end, and to start that, we
That's
immediately
still
go
true,
to
yes.
Sabrina. Kadabra is a one-shot with Return, and when Mr. Mime comes out, it meets a similar fate. Alakazam hits hard with Psychic, and if we were lower level, it would probably be a one-shot. Thankfully, Sabrina seems to focus on healing, so we hit another Return, but unfortunately, next turn Alakazam finishes us off. Attempt 2 starts off with the same with Kadabra, but this time Mr. Mime sets up a barrier. Alakazam nearly wipes us out again, but instead of finishing us off, it sets up a future sight, so we have a few turns. Venomoth uses Psybeam, and we survive with 1 hit point to take the win. That was stressful. Across the sea, we trek through the burnt mansion and take out every trainer of the gym to make sure that we get a little bit of experience. Growlithe gets hit with Return when he comes out, and unfortunately his Fire Blast connects and brings us immediately to half. Blaine potions up, and we continue to stay on the offensive as best as we can. When Growlithe goes down to a few turns, Ponyta comes out, and we immediately put it to sleep and seed it to gain back some health. Thankfully, when it does wake...
I don't know, because I haven't watched any of these since they released. I don't know if the editing got a little bit better. I don't know if I made leaps and bounds very quickly, but I don't know how I got any subscribers like this.
Wake up, its Fire Blast misses, and the recovery process can continue. We put it back to sleep to take advantage of another turn of HP gain, and then start attacking. Unfortunately, and I should have paid more attention, we put Ponyta into healing range, and Blaine brings it back to full, but our damage is stacking up, and we do end up taking it a few turns later. Rapidash is the same process, except we miss. Oh, then they miss! We are still good! Next, we put it to sleep.
See, I need to get back into doing stuff like this to show that little bit of energy, a little bit more excitement. I don't know if that's everybody's cup of tea, but I can't get lazy with it anymore.
Blaine, if I can't use items, you shouldn't be able to either to wake
That's
your
still
Pokemon
true.
up.
That is still
so
true.
we put it to sleep again, and Leech Seed nearly gets us to full, and then we hit it with Return. Arcanine, wow, I couldn't even do the meme pronunciation with that mess up. Arcanine is horrifying, but we thankfully outspeed, and the process is the same. Sleep, seed, return, repeat as needed. Arcanine nearly takes us out,
Why am
but
I talking
we
so
put it back to sleep
fast?
to try and survive another attack as we continue to whittle its health down, but it's not looking good. Thankfully, for whatever reason, Blaine does not heal or wake him up, so we take the badge. Final gym fight, Giovanni.
But I'm
Full
still fighting
disclosure, just for
Blaine.
y'all, I do skip the Sevi Island stuff. It's a lot of filler, and for challenges like this, it doesn't provide much additional levels, and it takes a decent chunk of time.
I did not mean to speed that up, but I'm not gonna get rid of it because it's true. The Sevi Islands, from a perspective of solo runs, doesn't really add anything. I want to say you get an additional TM. If I'm doing a Nuzlocke, I may sometimes go there, but for the most part, I even skip it with that. This is one of the easiest games to Nuzlocke, so there isn't really much of a point to go there.
If there's something I'm missing in these solo challenges that may help by visiting these islands, please comment below. I could be missing something because I typically always tend to skip it. On to the fight. Rhyhorn goes down to a single Razor Leaf, and Dugtrio, who has incredible speed, was able to take a small chunk of health before meeting a similar fate. Nidoqueen gets hit first with Return, and it looks like a 3 to 4 hit. She smacks back hard with a critical hit Earthquake, and we retaliate with Razor Leaf to make it fall. Nidoking falls to a Razor Leaf as well, not completely sure if the crit mattered, and Rhyhorn goes down as well to a single attack. So that is 8 badges done, and with that, the easiest part of the game is finished. Now, on to the six hardest fights we will ever have. Now, with the pre-rival Elite 4 fight, I'm gonna just show the battle, and it'll give you an idea that we're not even close to being ready to fight.
Sometimes I still do
We
this.
try this battle multiple times, even after revisiting Celadon City to grab a Miracle Seed to boost our grass attack. We can typically get past Pidgeot unless we see an unlucky crit, but Alakazam almost immediately takes us out. We'll try again after a few levels, so spoiler alert, we try this again at 70 and 75, and Alakazam is absolutely decimating us, and if we make it past him, Charizard is able to almost take us out immediately unless we get amazing sleep luck on everything. Charizard is just too tanky. At level 80, we put Pidgeot to sleep, and it's finally a 2-shot with Return. Alakazam still outspeeds and disables Return, so we put it to sleep to buy a turn to get Return back. As we get it back and hit it with Return, it hangs on with a Sliver, and Razor Leaf is thankfully enough to take it down. As Charizard comes out, it takes us down to 56 HP before we put it to sleep, and again, we Leech Seed. We smack it with Return while getting back some HP, and a few turns later, it falls. Rhyhorn goes as easily as you might expect, and Execute is honestly one of the more important Pokemon to put to sleep to avoid paralysis. After that, 2 returns later, we safely avoid it, and then Gyarados comes out. Remembering our last mistake and taking Ear to Red with a single Razor Leaf, it hits us with a soft Hydro Pump, and then we take it out right before heading onto Victory Road.
Now, there's a lot of changes that I would make with that. Mostly just showing the battle a little bit easier. Leveling up, I don't show that because that's honestly just boring footage. Sometimes I will, as I am leveling up and I'm explaining that I'm still losing, I will sometimes show a sped up version of the battle of that little portion just to kind of show, hey, I am actually trying at these levels. I'm not just power leveling until I win kind of situation.
As usual, we won't cover Victory Road since there's really nothing exciting that happens there.
That is true.
So let's start with the Lorelei fight. Q, let it go. No, wait, that's copy. Let's just show the battle. We take Dugong to red with an attack as it sets up Hail. Lorelei sets up the next turn, and we unfortunately miss. Next attack brings it to red, and Ice Beam hits us down to below half. With our next attack, we take it out. As Slowbro comes out, we obviously outspeed, so we put the tanky boy to sleep. We want to try to recover a little, so we set up Leech Seed to get some health back, and next return, and Razorleaf take it out.
Oh, I'm tired, y'all.
Lapras, I just want to point out, look at that maniacal-looking sprite. It looks like it is
Sprite
laughing
isn't
at
even
us,
up yet.
which it might as well be because it hits us with Confuse Ray and we put it to sleep. We're able to
That
break
made no sense.
through Confusion.
Why would it be laughing
But
about going to
then
sleep?
the next 2 times we smack ourselves, and that's enough to take out a good portion of our health. And then there's Ice Beam that also took out health. It's a big old mess. But Lapras goes down, but unfortunately Jinx is able to take us out. A few failed attempts later, we try at 85.
See, and I didn't
we
hate
still
that
don't take
cut
out
either.
Dugong in one shot. Trust me, I lost this fight a lot more times at 85 before getting this winning attempt. We put the
Honestly,
Dugong
fair.
asleep. We hit it with Razorleaf, and she restores its health. Pretty par for the course. We hit it with Return. Next turn, we hit it with Razorleaf to finish it off. Slowbro is now a one-shot with Razorleaf, thankfully. We put Lapras to sleep for safety, and an amazing crit that I am 99% sure matters takes
Most
out the
likely.
beast. Jinx, we make take a nap, and we bring it to red with Return. We immediately hit it back down to red after healing, and a final Razorleaf, where the crit was certainly overkill, took it out. Cloyster always starts with Protect, so we just select Sleep Powder to avoid using an
Not
attacking move. Next
More
turn,
often
we
than
use
not,
Razorleaf
yes,
to
but
one-shot
not
it. And with
always.
that, the first Elite Four member is down. But I'm going to be honest, if the member we have a small advantage against is tough, I am horrified for the rest of this run. Bruno's Onyx goes down to Razorleaf, not surprised. When Hitmonchan comes out, we put him to sleep, and Razorleaf brings him to half. The second one takes it out. Hitmonlee gets immediately one-shotted by Razorleaf, which I think the crit mattered this time, and then his other Onyx also goes down. Last is the Ace Machamp, where we miss Razorleaf. It claps back with Scary Face, and now outspeeds us and uses Bulk Up. Not good. Quite scary. We use Razorleaf.
Not really,
and do
because if
under
we're
half.
using Razorleaf, it goes off the special, and Machamp's special isn't that great.
Okay, take a nap, Machamp. Cross chop doesn't hurt too bad, so we abandon our sleep strat and go
Yeah,
for
because
return
we
because
resist.
we missed.
We were
but
worried
he has
over
a berry.
nothing.
Due to this, we then return to the sleep strat and leech for safety. Thankfully, when it wakes up, the cross chop misses, and a final Razorleaf takes it out.
I
Use an
would've
elixir
got
to
rid
gain
of
back
that
some
with
PP
Bubba.
because items in between battles is fine, and head to
Didn't need
face
go over
Agatha.
that.
Once again, we do lose this multiple times, thanks to Gengar. Due to the script and the recording getting a little bit lengthy, we'll just skip to the winning attempt at level 90.
Yeah. We're
We
at
put
25
Gengar to
minutes,
sleep and leech seed
probably
for it,
longer for the
if
actual
it
video.
happens to wakes up, and
I'm
it
at
does,
41
and it
minutes
hits
on the
us with a
video.
Shadow
I will probably get rid of that. Also, Stray Mouse on my totally legit console.
Punch. Thankfully,
Oh,
we
I
knew
moved
this
it.
would probably happen, and we're able to take it down before it can wear our PP down too much. You never want to worn down PP.
That's
Rollback
true.
comes out, and we also put it to sleep and use our Leech Seed combo. Return begins to ping it down, and just like that, we're on to Haunter. We put it to sleep before it puts us to sleep, and take it to half with Razorleaf. Thankfully, even though it wakes up, it misses Hypnosis, huge, and we take it out with the second attack. Gengar is still faster and puts us to sleep, and takes us under half, so we Leech Seed to gain some time.
I don't like that I didn't
Razorleaf
edit
does a
this to
decent
be
chunk
at
of damage, and
halfway
thankfully
normal
it stays
speed.
asleep long enough to get us up to 3/4 health. It does get woken up, which I figured, and Gengar once again puts us to sleep. We trade attacks of the two of us, and honestly, just nap
What?
time, and finally, we are able to take it down.
What was I even
Finally,
saying?
Arbok comes out, and we do about a third with return, and it brings us pretty low, but we are able to take the victory with another attack. With Lance. Lance was horrible. I had to get us up to level 100 just to stand a chance. So, as said, we're just going to skip to our winning attempt. Gyarados goes to sleep, and Razorleaf is able to two-shot it. Aerodactyl, even at level 100, still outspeeds us and takes a good chunk of health before we put it to sleep. Same strat by Leech Seed, and then get back to some better health before
I don't know if
Dragonite
that's
shows up.
necessarily true now.
Unfortunately, it wakes up and hits hard with a wing attack. We take it to red with our next attack, Leech Seed, as it heals up. Another Razorleaf and Leech Seed Drain bring it low, and we finally take it out. When Dragonite comes out, we use our last Sleep Powder and Leech Seed it.
I don't know if I would need to be level 100 now, just given the fact that I know a little bit more about the game. I think it would definitely depend on the type of nature I had. I wish I would have shown it in the footage to understand if I had like a lower special or something like that. Having the miracle seed is definitely that was a good play, but I don't know if level 100 would necessarily be needed.
Now it's time that we do our best here. And Dragonite
I
immediately
messed
wakes
that
up.
up real bad.
Thankfully, it only does a safeguard, which gives us a little bit of time to heal. Return now is below half, and Hyper Beam hits us below half. Thankfully, though, it does have to recharge, letting Return and Leech Seed combo take down the Pseudo Legendary. We Leech Seed Dragonair immediately, since it does have a fire attack and usually paralyzes, and it, thankfully, never thought I'd say this, uses Outrage. The next Dragonair immediately Thunder Waves, but we thankfully land a Leech Seed. It
If I still had
uses
sleep powder
Safeguard
PP,
for
I should have
some
put it to sleep
reason,
first.
and we begin hitting it with Return and staying healthy. It uses Hyper Beam, and we stay paralyzed for 2
Maybe I don't
turns,
have sleep powder
so
PP.
it gets to heal up. We hit it with Return, it retaliates with Outrage, and we finally beat the Elite Four. Time for the champ. Now, I'm gonna be honest. The final rival fight took me around an hour,
Sounds about
hour
right.
and a half, and about 50, 60 attempts-ish.
Yeah.
Thank you, speed up option. Pidgeot, we put to sleep and two-shot it with Return. Alakazam is put to sleep, hits us hard, and Leech Seed before it goes down. Charizard, we do the same thing, putting it to sleep and return chip damage. This time around, we crit a Return and are able to take it down pretty quickly. Executor, again, we have to put to sleep because getting paralyzed this late into it has screwed us more times than I'm willing to admit. Rhydon goes down to a single Razor Leaf, and Gyarados we put to sleep and Seed for safety, and it almost still manages to take us out. Leech Seed continues to work its magic as the champion heals up, and we put it back to sleep. The rival heals up again as we get it to red, and we're finally above half by healing, and a Razor Leaf critical hit takes it out, and, well, I'll just play a small audio clip of how I felt because it took so damn long. But thank you so much for watching. I hope
I
you're
didn't play
enjoying this.
anything.
This is the first of many. Like I said, I want to go through the entire Pokedex with these. This one is probably going to be a bit longer since it is the first one, but it is also my first time writing such a huge script.
Okay, good to
Next
know.
time around, or next week, I'll probably end up doing a Venomoth run in Heart Gold and Soul
was fun.
Silver.
That
There
was
is
a
a
lot
little
of
bit of a
fun.
backstory behind that, of course. Naturally, we are going to go through all the starters, but I don't want to just focus on Fire Red. I kind of want to bounce around between games a little bit here. As said, if you want to suggest new runs, follow me on Twitter, or even better, join the Discord. It's a fairly active community, a lot of
true.
Pokemon lovers in there. You'll fit right in. I put up polls, I keep people posted on my stream schedule, so I hope to see you there. And, as always, if you've seen my videos before, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, think about hitting the thumbs up because it really does help me out. Hit that subscribe button because I want to make this a career, as foolish as that may sound. And until next time, everybody, peace out.
So a lot of that... What? Okay. A lot of that is definitely very painful, but I hope that you enjoyed this. If you want to see me react to more of my old content, by all means, let me know in the comments below. We've made a lot of improvements since then, at least I hope so. I'm okay. I have Nuzlockes that I can react to, old Dead by Daylight content I can react to, randomizer races. I typically won't try to be reacting to stuff that spans over multiple videos just because that does make it a little bit difficult to condense down to one. Also, new podcast is going to be dropping every other Tuesday called Scheduling Conflicts, so make sure to check that out. But as I always say at the end of every video, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button because it helps me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.